Philadelphia and our surrounding areas have been blanketed with winter's white embrace, while everyone and everything have been seeking a place to warm up. Well, we have found a location that generates that warmth, and we welcome you along our journey throughout the month of March. Not just the weather is warming up as your Phillies begin the prep work, with opening day just 31 days away. Welcome back to Clearwater. Welcome to Spring Training 2021. One of the greatest places in Grapefruit League baseball, Clearwater, Florida, and Frenchies are open for business today as the Phillies and Charlie Manuel get set to draw the curtain on their home schedule of spring training games at Baycare Ballpark. Yeah, it's game one of our 12 on television this year. This spring, the Phillies lost yesterday in Lakeland, but they start anew today against the Baltimore Orioles. Hey, everybody, I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Ben Davis. It's been 156 days since Aaron Nola last towed the rubber, a day that he would like to forget, but it's still nice to see, not only for him to get the baseball, but for baseball to begin again in Clearwater.
So nice to bring baseball back to your living rooms again today. We're very fortunate to be here, Tom, and it's just exciting. That time of the year, it's so exciting to see that first pitch thrown, hear the crack of the bat, the pop of the mitt, and everyone's just really excited to be here.
All right, so we already have our Toyota turning point from this past offseason. And what was it? Well, it was the re-signing of two big pieces for the Phillies.
Two huge pieces for the Philadelphia Phillies. You always want to be strong up the middle, and that's exactly what the Phillies are. JT Realmuto, without a doubt, the best catcher in baseball, and it's not even close. Offensively, defensively, he is the man. And then Didi Gregorius. I thought they had a chance to sign JT back. I did not think they would have a chance to get Didi. Such a huge signing for the Philadelphia Phillies. Again, to be strong up the middle. They signed very lucrative contracts. Obviously, JT's for 5 years, Didi for just the 2 years. But to lock these guys up enables this team to move forward with some offensive gusto. These two guys are really, really good, and so glad that the Phillies were able to sign them back.
And Didi talked about the fact that he's becoming more of a power hitter. He likes that in our ballpark. Joe Girardi kind of laid out what he's looking for the 2021 season.
You know, to me, I always thought about being the best team that we could be, right? And I think, you know, your goal was to win the World Series, right? So if you win the World Series, you're the best team that year. And let me tell you, I'm good with that goal. But I don't ever come into a year and say, I want to make the playoffs. To me, I don't want to finish second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. I don't want to finish there. I want to win the World Series. I mean, that's why we put the uniform on. And just be the best person that you can be individually and collectively as a team. And I'll take our chances.
Best answer to any question this spring so far was that one by Joe Girardi. It all begins in spring training. The road to a World Series begins in Clearwater for the Phils. We'll be back with lineups at first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Toyota Camry, now with available all-wheel drive. Visit your local Tri-State Toyota dealer today. By Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia. And by Citizens, official bank of the Phils. Said yesterday in Lakeland, it made a difference to have the fans in the stands, and it's the same at Baycare Ballpark today. Fans are getting a chance to watch their Phils, and it's a sight for sore eyes, to say the least. Aaron Nola is on the mound, getting set to finish up his warm-up tosses for this afternoon's ball game. Let's take a look at the Orioles lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia. Austin Hayes played last year for Baltimore, hit .279. He leads it off. DJ Stewart, he did not have a great season a year ago for the Orioles. Ryan Mountcastle is in left field. Rio Ruiz is over at third base. Should be the everyday third baseman this year. Valleca is one of those guys that every team needs because he plays so many different positions. And there is Aaron Nola getting set to make his first spring start. We should see him for at least 2 today. Although we saw yesterday that sometimes those plans, Ben, they go awry.
Yeah, yesterday didn't go exactly as according to plan yesterday for the Phillies, especially in that first inning. But Aaron Nola, just go out there, fastball command. That's what he's really looking to do today. Set a precedent with that good fastball. Obviously, he's going to mix in some changeups and curveballs, but you're really going to see him throw that fastball and throw it a lot.
Phillies made some adjustments to their pitching, their staff, their coaching staff. And one of those adjustments was to the pitching coach role. Caleb Cotham is sitting next to Joe Girardi. And Aaron Nola has said that the communication between the two will ramp up even more after this initial start. He said they've talked in spring training. He said, but once Caleb sees what Aaron likes and Aaron hears what Caleb likes, it'll enhance the communication.
Just to know how he feels when he comes off that mound. Every pitch is going to be different.
All right, so here we go. Yesterday, well, it was kind of a clunker to start spring training. Today, 80 degrees in Clearwater, Florida, and the Phillies get a chance to wear the home white, the red-white pinstripes as Aaron Nola goes to work to begin spring training 2021. And the first pitch is in there for a strike, and the count is 0-1 to Austin Hayes.
Real applause.
Real applause. Yeah, we've been so used to it, the manufactured applause and cheering, that it's nice to hear a little bit of a buzz in the ballpark. Just a bit outside. Hayes, back in 2018, was the #1 prospect in the Orioles organization. You might recall last year against the Phillies, he had an inside the park home run.
Yep. 10th inning.
The 1-1 pitch from Nola. And a good breaking ball. It's 1-2. Aaron was asked about Caleb taking over as the pitching coach, and he was asked about it being his 5th different pitching coach. And he said about that, he said it is different. He said, but I think Caleb is a very good addition. As that ball's hit into the seats over the first base side.
Well, he comes with a lot of notoriety for never being a big league pitching coach. His name has been out there.
1 ball and 2 strikes. And that one's hit sharply back toward the middle, a base hit. So a leadoff single for Hayes. And that'll bring DJ Stewart up.
Just a fastball that runs back out over the plate. Like he tried to dot him down and away and just left it up. Nice piece of hitting by Hayes.
All right, so here's DJ Stewart. Stewart playing right field today for the Orioles. Finished the year 4 for his last 39, which is what dropped his average under 200 for Baltimore. That one gets away from Knapp, and that allows Hayes to go to second base. So a wild pitch. Of course, Andrew is catching because JT Realmuto is still nursing the fracture in his thumb on his throwing hands. Although there's a pretty good chance that JT may not have caught these first couple of days anyway.
Right.
1 ball and no strikes. Runner in scoring position. And a bit outside with a changeup. It's 2-0.
Yeah, back-to-back changeups. I don't really know what he's changing up off of. He hasn't seen a fastball yet.
Last year in that final game of the season, Aaron went 3 2/3. He walked 3, struck out 6, allowed 3 earned runs in what was a 5-0 loss to the Rays that essentially eliminated the Phillies from the postseason. Although losing 6 of the previous 7 didn't help either. He said, I know for myself it sat with me for a while. He said what it taught him that last day, and he said probably that last week, and he said I think this is the case for everybody as the count evens up 2-2, is that every game matters. He said, as I've gotten older in this game, I realize that game 33 is equally as important as game 162, because it can come down to that last day. But if you had taken care of business earlier, then maybe it doesn't come down to that final day.
That was even more heightened last year with only the 60
Correct.
Games.
2-2. Curveball hit high in the air to right field. That's pretty deep, and it is gone. Matt Joyce just ventured back to give it a look. The wind is blowing out. A 2-run home run for Stewart, and the Orioles take a 2-0 lead.
That's exactly what you do with a hanging breaking ball. 10 pitches in, you don't like to see that score of 2-0, but that's a good one to hit. Good extension there by Stewart through the baseball.
So 2-zip Orioles. Ryan Mountcastle is now the batter. He takes the first pitch outside. Mountcastle last year in 35 games had 5 home runs, 23 runs batted in. Bouncer over to third. And easy play for Torreyes. One away. So I'm not sure how many people listened to yesterday's game. The Tigers, Dan Dickerson was the broadcaster that carried the game in Lakeland, and he's excellent. And he described some of the new rules for spring training. And the first one he talked about, because it came up almost immediately yesterday, was that a manager can just stop the inning if he feels like there's just too many pitches being thrown and he doesn't want to go to the bullpen. And that was the case yesterday with Ivan Nova pitching. He wondered, as Nova's pitch count was rising, well, would they just end the inning here or would they go to the bullpen? So Joe went to the bullpen and then eventually ended the inning because it just got longer and longer. But you can do that to start spring training. Change up on the outside corner. It's 1-1. So you may see some oddities for the first 2 weeks of spring training that would lead some of the purists of baseball to say, what is going on?
Like a 7-inning ball game?
Like a 7-inning ball game. Up high, 2-1. Rio Ruiz in his 3rd year with the Orioles. Last year had 9 home runs, 32 runs batted in.
You know, you go into these ball games, especially early in spring training, Tom, and you basically go to your pitcher. All right, what are we going to try and do today? A good change up there. What are we going to try and do? What is your main objective today? And you say, oh, I want to work on fastball command, or I want to work on change-ups down and away to lefties. And then you can go out there and you get the pitcher on the mound, and what you think you already had a game plan completely changes, because pitchers are, they change their mind so easily.
Well, there's a fastball to get Ruiz. I think it's noticeable, though, in at least this first inning of Aaron Nola Spring, that he's not taking one pitch and tucking it in his back pocket. He's throwing each of them. Probably the changeup more than the curve at this point.
Yeah, we saw Stewart get 3 changeups in that at bat and a curveball. This one he just throws right on by Ruiz. Good fastball.
Here's Chance Sisco at 2:14 the season to go. Ground ball over to first base, and that's gobbled up by Brad Miller. Takes the bamboo and the baseball over to the bag, and the side is retired. The Orioles, though, do get a 2-run home run. We head to the bottom of the first. And Brandon Hyde pretty happy with the way his team went out there in the top half of the first. Let's look at the Phillies lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia. Nice to see Andrew McCutchen in the leadoff spot today. His knee is 100% according to Joe Girardi. Gene Segura over at second base bats second. Andrew Knapp hits third. Then Brad Miller. That's cleanup for the Phils. Roman Quinn gets a chance to play. And some of the youngsters, Nick Maton, Ronald Torreyes, toward the bottom of the order, facing Jorge Lopez, who is battling for one of the last couple of spots in the Orioles rotation. And a season ago in 6 starts, he had a 6.69 earned run average.
I am very anxious to see Andrew McCutchen this spring, just for the fact that we talked to Joe Girardi the other day, and he said he looks tremendous. Great shape, feels great.
Last year hit .253 with 10 home runs and 34 runs batted in. But he spent a lot of time as the designated hitter for the Phillies. And this year, there is no DH, at least for the moment, for the National League. So he is going to have to play in the outfield every day that he's in the lineup. No balls and 2 strikes. Sharply to the right side, and a base hit for McCutchen past the diving Urias. And a leadoff single.
Take 2 and go to right.
That's right. And here is Gene Segura.
It's an elevated fastball here. He gets on top and shoots it to right field. It's a good start for the Fightin' Phils.
Another one. Another look at it. I think this is the part of the game too, Ben, that I'm interested to see how McCutchen has evolved with his knee. Can he get his legs back where he can be a force on the base paths? As Joe has said, that he would like to run even more in 2021.
Put pressure on the defense.
Segura takes a breaking ball, and it's 1-1. Gene last year had 7 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Part of his game that improved was the on-base percentage. Went from .323 to .347. As he pulls that one down the left field line, that's a fair ball going to the corner. McCutchen's on his way to third. He'll be held by Dusty Wathan. And it's a double for Segura. And the Phils have something going here in the bottom of the first.
I always thought pitch recognition was the last thing to come from an offensive standpoint when you're standing the plate in spring training, but he recognizes this hanger and just shoots it down the left field line. This is a bullet. He hits it so hard McCutchen can't score from first. A good piece of hitting there.
All right, so here's Andrew Knapp. Andrew coming off a solid year, hitting .278 a season ago with 2 home runs and 15 runs batted in. Talked to Andrew today and asked him about the fans, and he said it's the first real sense of normal in a long time. And again, it's only a couple of thousand, and they're spread out. But even just listen to the chatter and the boos because the pitcher and the catcher can't get on the same page.
It really is such a part of the game.
Yeah.
It really is.
So's a cold beverage, Ben.
Think it's not?
Outside, 1-0.
One over, one in, right, Phil?
Lopez is probably battling, as you see the berm, and that's where they told people you're in a certain pod, that's where you're going to sit. They decided to sit in pod 8. 1-1. But Lopez is going to be battling for one of those starting spots. But in the mix for the Orioles, Felix Hernandez, who opted out last year, and people think is back to close to where he was the last couple of years in Seattle. Matt Harvey and Wade LeBlanc. So those are part of the battles the Orioles will have for their starting rotation.
And not the easiest ballpark to pitch in, that's for sure, is Camden Yards, but I do have a couple options there.
See, the Orioles have the third baseman Ruiz in. At a bit outside, 3-1.
I don't know if Andrew could get any closer to home plate. His back foot, his left foot, is on the white chalk.
Do you want him to get closer?
I don't think he can. Legally. Like, I'm serious. Look at that. It's incredible. Half of his toe is on that white chalk.
Down the left field line, battling the sun is Mountcastle, and he lost the battle. It's a ground rule double. 2 runs will score, and the Phillies have tied it up at 2.
Well, Andrew was doing his job regardless there of Mountcastle making that play. Good situational hitting there. He gets a good pitch in a good count, 3-1 count, and does his job. At the worst, it's going to be a sac fly. Definitely a lot of wind up there. Good things happen to nice people, Tom.
Speaking of nice people and nice additions, here's Brad Miller. Miller takes outside. You getting any of the conversation that's going on in the dugout right now?
I'm trying to figure it out.
Inside, 2-0. Andrew McCutcheon's helping things out. Hector's holding court. Hector Neris.
I can't believe Hector has a smile on his face. Does he ever not smile? Ever?
2-0 to Brad Miller. Miller making his return to the Phillies after going on vacation to St. Louis last year, where he wound up playing way more than I think he anticipated. In fact, he joked, he said, all of a sudden I'm in the cleanup spot. He goes, I didn't expect that. And he walks on 4 pitches. Played 29 games last year, Ben, as the cleanup hitter for the Cardinals.
Remarkable. I love what he did here a couple years ago.
Yeah, 12 home runs. All right, so a visit to the mounds here in this first inning, which is not an oddity in spring training that you're going to have some early trips to the hill. Chris Holt is the pitching coach.
Connor Wade's going to get loose.
Yeah, he's one of the spring training or one of the minor league additions to the roster for the Orioles today. They've added 3 minor league pitchers just in case innings go a little longer than they want them to. I mean, there is a chance we play 7 innings today. If anybody, just so everybody knows, not to be surprised, particularly the first couple weeks of spring, there will be games that will just be 7 innings. First and second, 1 out, 2 runs in. Roman Quinn, the hitter. Roman, for the 2nd straight year, hit .213. He is battling Adam Hazley for the center field job. And Adam, well, he got his spring off to a good start yesterday with an opposite field home run.
Yep. It's a big camp for all these guys. Scott Kingery, Roman Quinn, Adam Hazley. It's a big spring for these guys. There's a lot riding on it.
Joe Girardi, who is scheduled to join us in the 4th inning today in each spring, said that he is open to having a platoon in center field.
We asked him, is there anybody you're leaning towards? And he said, no.
I think this year, I think he's open-minded about it this year. And I think part of that is that Hazley's come in stronger with the ability, the hope is to drive the ball more. But he loves the speed of Roman Quinn.
How could you not?
2-1 to Roman. 3-1. Matt Joyce on deck. That one's pulled sharply through the hole and into right field, a base hit. Knapp will hold up at third, so the bases are loaded with nobody out. And Matt Joyce coming up.
There's no sense in getting Andrew Knapp hurt. Ball clearly through the hole. Roman does a nice job.
Are you all of a sudden putting catchers into the speedy category?
Well, I mean, no, I'm not, nor will I ever. But I thought he had a chance to get set there by Dustin.
Probably did. Here's Matt Joyce, who spent 2020 in the Miami organization. Hit .252 with 2 home runs. He DH'd a lot last year, but in his role this season with the Phillies, if he makes the club, and I think he's going to make the club, he would be a solid bat off the bench.
Without a doubt. You know, we talk about the improvements that they got in the bullpen, but the bench as well, I think some drastic improvements.
Inside he went, according to the home plate umpire.
But you go 0-2 to McCutchen, right? You're in a head and count 0-2. You go single, double, double, walk, single. After an 0-2 count to lead off the game.
It's not how you start, Ben.
No. I mean, I would think this have to be his last hitter. Maybe one more at the most.
I would think between 25-30 pitches. Sharply left side to third. Ruiz comes home for one, over to first for the double play. Well, Ruiz was playing so far in that it turned out to be an easy 5-2-3 double play.
Joyce really slipped at home plate as well. How deep Ruiz is. I mean, he's right in that 5.5 hole.
Yeah, positioned perfectly.
That's an easy turn for Cisco. Watch him slip here.
That'll bring Nick Maton to the plate. There will be a lot of players this spring. We're going to put up their numbers, and they'll be from 2019, from 2019, because obviously there were no minor league games last year. Maton was at Lehigh Valley. And for a lot of those players that got a chance to go to Lehigh Valley, it was a bonus, because they had the chance to have instruction, get at bats, face major leaguers. Those are his career numbers for the minor leagues. Had a foul tip.
Yeah, just from a developmental standpoint, I mean, the Phillies, to miss out on that for a whole season, a lot of these guys, it's tough. But fortunately for quite a few, they were able to go down the Lehigh Valley, get their reps in. This year obviously will be quite different.
Ball's popped up and out of play. Maton is an excellent defensive shortstop. One part of his game that's improved immensely as he's matured is his ability to understand the strike zone. Grounds it foul, remains 1-2.
What a beautiful day down there, huh?
81 degrees at game time.
A little nicer than up here.
And it's hooked out to right field. It's not deep, and it's caught by DJ Stewart, who came scrambling in, and the side is retired. Phillies do tie it. Had a chance for more, but it's a 2-2 game as we go to the second. Get geared up for the 2021 season for only $60. The Gear Up for 2020 bundle has everything you need to cheer on your favorite team. Adjustable cap, Phillies t-shirt, see it right there, scoreboard socks, Ben loves socks, and much more. The value is over $120, but you can purchase your bundle and say hello to the folks at the New Era Phillies team store. Go to phillies.com/New Era for store hours. I was there about a month or so ago. Had to pick up a couple things for the last part of the offseason. It's awesome. The hat selection has always been one of my favorite things.
Yes.
But the t-shirts are just phenomenal. So head on down. Here's Valleca. He'll lead it off as we go to the second. And it's 0-1. Valleca played in 52 games last year, played 5 different positions. Now, you may think in the American League that's not a big deal because of the DH. There's not a whole lot of double switching or anything like that, but he played.
Just gives the manager so many options to have guys that can do that.
No balls and 2 strikes. Speaking of options, Aaron Nola was asked about the option of hitting this year. And he said, well, I like the National League part of the game. He said, you have pros and cons. Obviously, people feel differently about it. But I like the strategy. It's unique, and it gets your mind off pitching when you can hit in a game. So a lot of times pitchers would say just the opposite. They just want to focus on pitching.
Right.
Sounded like he broke his bat. Valleca softly out to left center and over the head of Maton. I don't know if he saw that, Ben.
No, he was calling for it. No one was around. I think the wind just really took it. We saw what happened to Andrew Knapp's ball. Maton thought he had to play on it, and it just kept going.
At that point, he was probably thinking, I don't hear Kutch.
Yep.
I don't hear Roman. Here's Urias, and he takes the first pitch on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Anyway, Aaron went on to say that he missed batting practice last year. Said that was fun. And he said that the ability to get yourself in shape this year compared to last year was predicated on getting yourself in shape to hit too. Now, I think Aaron's way better at that than he is at hitting.
Without a doubt. Good change up there. Gets the ball on the ground.
6-4-3 double play.
Just the way you draw it up. That ball, that slight hump in it. Maton to Gene. On to Miller. Really is a pitcher's best friend. And Aaron takes a lot of pride in this hitting, getting back to that save. He really does. Like he's one of those guys that puts competitive at bats together.
Now everybody talks about the lack of DH and says, you know, for now, because I think most people feel like the DH is going to come back in the National League at some point. Here's Brett Cumberland for the Orioles. Cumberland played 41 games at Double-A Bowie a couple of years ago. One ball and one strike. Nobody on, 2 outs here in the top of the second. Well, not the perfect pitch, but perfect location. It almost looked like a slider.
It sure did.
Shot the other way, and that'll be a base hit. 4th hit for the Orioles, and Tyler Nevin will get a chance to bat. He's the number 9 hitter. Umpires for today's ball game. It wouldn't be a Clearwater game without either Tom Hallion or Vic Carapazza, and Hallion's over at first base, and he's the crew chief. Eric Backus, number 101, Ben, in your umpires guide. It's behind the plate. Are there that many umpires that he has to wear 101?
Apparently.
Nevin hits it skyward to right. Matt Joyce says he has it, and he does. All right, so 2 innings in the books for Aaron Nola. He allows 2 earned runs on 4 hits. We'll head to the bottom of the second. It's the Orioles 2 and the Phillies 2. Stats, videos, and more. All of your Phils content in one place. NBCSportsPhiladelphia.com. Bottom of the second inning, 2-2 game. Lowell Ben Davis, Tom McCarthy. Game 2 of the Grapefruit League schedule. Aaron Nola is done after 2 innings. Lopez will begin his second inning and faced Ronald Torreyes. Little haircut from last year, Ben. And he whacks that one out toward left center field, and it's playable for Austin Hayes. 1 away. Brandon Kitzler warming up in the bullpen, non-roster invitee, who's certainly going to help this Phillies bullpen.
Without a doubt.
And we'll talk about that when he comes in. He's scheduled to pitch next. Todd Zolecki on Phillies.com wrote a great story about Kinsler the other day. When you do eventually see him, Ben, you can call him Salt because he's salty.
Very salty.
Yeah. Durant takes inside.
Whatever works for you.
Durant takes a breaking ball. It's 1-2. Durant, 23 years old, from the Dominican Republic. He played 16 games this past winter. And he's an excellent defender, and he smacks that one to deep left center field, and it's off the base of the wall, and Duran will get to second base with a 1-out double.
That is how you get on top of a high fastball.
Big time. You heard Joe Girardi say, go ball. It had a chance.
See Lopez missing with another pitch up in the zone. Duran down in the count, 1-2 count. Takes advantage. Pretty short swing.
Yeah, physically strong guy, excellent catcher, excellent pitch caller, and handles staffs extremely well. As McCutchen takes a breaking ball in. Off the hands, out toward right. Catch is made. Duran does not tag. 2 outs, and Segura's coming up. Best part of the conversation the other day with Gene Segura was when he talked about having Didi Gregorius back with him up the middle. You know, because there was talk that if Didi didn't come back, that Gene was going to play shortstop. But Gene lit up when he was talking about Didi. They are very good friends. Joe said as soon as Didi arrived the other day, because he had some visa issues, he said you knew he was in the clubhouse because Gene was even louder. 4-3 on the putout. No runs, a hit, 1 man left. We'll head to the 3rd. Still tied at 2.
You never know. No, hey. Hey. I never born in the game. Here we go. Hey, get him in the line. The team need Hector. Sorry.
The team need Hector. Hear your Phillies loud and clear. Your favorite team is getting mic'd up for spring training. Bryce Harper, Hector Neris, Joe Girardi, Rhys Hoskins, and more, giving you exclusive behind-the-scenes content from Clearwater. I think it was Rhys that was talking about Pokemon, something near and dear to Ben's heart. Check out the loud and clear mic'd up series, available at youtube.com/Phillies.
You know, you miss certain things, right? Being around the guys, you really miss Hector Neris. Being around him,
because the team needs Hector.
The team does need Hector. You could be having the worst day ever. You have a 2-minute conversation with Hector, and you feel like you could run the world.
That was funny. Team need Hector. Game on the line. He's going to bunt. Here's Brandon Kinsler, second pitcher for the Phillies today. And I think that one of the funny things about that mic'd up is that Dong Lin was there, and Damon Jones, and their reaction, Zach Eflin, when he said, "I never bunt."
Because he gets so many ABs.
Yeah. That is true, though. If he does get an AB, then, you know, particularly if he's closing,
yes,
you've got a little bit of a problem.
Yes.
Austin Hayes will lead it off. He singled and scored his first time up. And Kinsler's first pitch outside, 1-0. Aaron Nola joins us down in Clearwater. Aaron, Tom and Ben up here in Philadelphia. How do you feel after 2 innings?
Feel good, guys. It feels really good to just get back out in front of fans and against a hitter and compete again. It just feels like it's been a long time.
How different was it, Aaron, having I know there's not many in the stands, but there's quite a few. How different was that?
Well, I mean, no matter how many fans, packed house or what it is right now, it's still fans. You know, it's actually feels normal again, and it feels a lot more like baseball. But to get things rolling again in 21, it feels really good.
You talked about being competitive, Aaron, and you know, we've known you for a long time, and you are extremely competitive. And I thought that was on display in the first inning, where you gave up a single to left center field, and just your reaction to it early on, just how competitive you were, even on that particular play.
Yeah, I mean, spring training, of course, we're working on things. I'm working on things and working on just trying to fill up the strike zone and get a feel for my delivery and my pitches. And I mean, giving up hits, it's no pitcher wants to, but sometimes it's good this time of year to throw in the stretch and throw with guys on first and second in situations like that, just to get us used to it. And you know, that's the beauty of it, I think.
And I know it's the first game and your first appearance, but how good was it to get that double play ball with the guy at first base and you're working from the stretch, just to make that right pitch at the right time?
Oh, double plays are the best. Pitcher's best friends, as they say, but it really is. I mean, it's throw 2 pitches to the guy. The guy gets on, throw 2 pitches or 1 pitch and get double play. I mean, it's the best in the game, I feel like.
Aaron, a few more all-speed pitches than I was expecting out of you today. Any rhyme or reason for that?
Not really. Just kind of working on everything. Just trying to get a feel for all my pitches right now, especially the changeup. threw a little more curveballs than I usually do coming into the first game, but I'm just gonna keep trying to fine-tune my repertoire each game and take each bullpen session seriously going into my next start.
How excited, and I know we were on the Zoom the other day when you talked about it, but how exciting was it when you got the news that JT was coming back?
Oh, really excited. Really, I think I'm speaking for everybody on the team and the whole organization. We obviously know how good of a player he is, what he can do on the field, but what a person he is. You know, he's a guy who we can communicate with. He's a guy who's approachable and a guy who really sets the bar high for everybody.
Aaron, do you do anything exciting in the off season? How do you do with your photography classes?
I didn't take any.
No?
I took some. I went to no. No, I always say I'm gonna, but I never do. But I went to Yosemite over in California for about 4 days. Took some pictures, so I guess you can call that a class.
I saw some of those pictures. Wow, that would have been a great picture right there if you got Matt Joyce diving for that ball and then the Phillies turn to the double play. That was beautiful. I saw some of those pictures. They were really good, Aaron.
Yeah, I don't know about action shots. I don't take things as they're moving. Not to that caliber yet, but yeah, I mean, I think it's all about the lens and the tripod.
That's great. Last question, because we got 2 outs in the inning. Caleb Cotham comes in. What are your impressions so far?
I like him. I think we all like him, and he's going to be good for us. And I think this is a perfect time to learn each other, and he's learning who I am and what I like to do and what I don't like to do, and vice versa. I think as games get started, in between starts, our bullpen sessions, I think we get to figure each other out as best as we can, and then that's the fun part of it. I mean, it is the pitching coach, and we got to know each other as best as possible.
Well, Aaron, we appreciate it. While you're chatting, this team played remarkable defense. That was a heck of a play by Torreyes. Hey, we'll see you again down the road, but thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Aaron.
But thanks, guys.
All right, Aaron Nola, our guest. And while we talked to Aaron, Matt Joyce decided to make a guest starring appearance. That was one heck of a play. Torreyes followed it up with 1-2. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Is brought to you by your local Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer. Visit DelValHondaDealers.com. Fanatic was deciding which music he was going to come out and dance to. Boys Are Back in Town, I think, was the choice for his first dance in front of the Phillies dugout. It's nice to see the Fanatic all masked up at the ballpark today. Here's Sean Armstrong. He takes over for Jorge Lopez. Armstrong last year pitched in 14 games, usually in the 6th and 7th innings of games for the Orioles. He did battle some back issues that hampered him as the year went on, and he'll face Andrew Knapp to start things off here in the bottom of the third. In a 2-2 game. And it's 0-1 to Knapp. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Phillies have added some veteran presence in the catching department with Jeff Mathis this past offseason. Andrew has kind of solidified himself as the backup for JT Realmuto. JT is probably, I would say, maybe a week away from maybe getting back in the swing of things, maybe a little bit longer, after injuring that thumb as Knapp goes down on strikes. But he's not deterred. He's got his legs in shape. He's got the cast on, Ben. He's got Dave Lundquist in the box, and he's doing some bullpens. The only thing is, he doesn't throw the ball back.
It's the biggest thing. Keep your legs in shape. That's what he's able to do.
The other thing he's doing, too, in order to kind of get used to the new pitchers, is that he's standing in the box as a hitter. In fact, I think I saw him, the one shot as Miller pulls that one to first, knocked down by Nevin, and still able to make that play.
Miller never tagged the bag.
Yeah, he went right up over, right? So 3-1 on the putout. Anyway, I saw some pictures of JT even, I think, hitting left-handed, standing in the box
Right.
left-handed, too.
You get a good idea of the way the ball's going to move. You see Nevin here at first base. First pitch swinging. Took a bad hop. Go off his chin, and see Miller never even gets to the bag.
Whoop.
You could do whatever you want in the offseason. You could lift your legs, do cardio, do whatever you want in the offseason. But when you get to spring training, it's completely different. Catching those guys and all the bullpens that you have to catch, and then having to go hit. Many times you go up to the home plate after catching all the bullpens. Like, oh, yeah, by the way, catchers, it's your turn to go hit.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Your
you go up
legs
there,
are wobbly,
your legs
right?
are wobbly,
Yeah.
and it's not easy.
Breaking ball to Quinn. It's 1-1.
I mean, you could do squats and leg press, extension, whatever you want. You go to spring training, it's completely different. There are times I would just sit in front of the television before I went to camp, just squat down like in the catcher's position, just watch TV, just to start to get used to that again.
What if there was a line that made you laugh? I mean, how would that throw you off?
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. You work on your balance, Tom.
2-1. Do you still do that? I mean, because you're catching bullpens now.
Yes, I can still. It's still easy to get down. It's not as easy to get back up.
If we did it, could you do one of our games in the catcher's position to see how long you can do it?
The entire time, no. But
oh, you're not ready for spring training then.
You never are.
Swing and a miss. 2-2 to Quinn, who singled his first time up.
My brother always said the best way to get ready for spring training was to put a pair of metal spikes on and go stand in your driveway. Because you're not used to it, right? You're just standing on your feet all day, and it's a different animal on your back and low back and your hammies, and then you get the ground like out in Arizona. It's a lot firmer. It's different.
Poor Bill, whose birthday it is today. Bill Davis. Happy birthday, Bill. All those lines in his driveway for no real reason except for Glenn getting ready for spring training. Three balls and 2 strikes to Roman Quinn. And ball 4.
No, it's nothing like my son. I was in the bedroom last night folding laundry, and I hear this. He comes in the bedroom with his metal spikes on. And I said, did you wear those through the kitchen with the hardwood floor? He goes, yeah, but it was totally fine.
He's going to blame it on the dog is what he's going to do.
Unbelievable.
Well, Roman Quinn draws the walk, and that'll bring Matt Joyce to the plate. Joyce hit into a 5-2-3 double play in his first at bat.
This is where that different dimension comes in for Roman Quinn at first base.
I would think he's going to try to go at least at some point, right?
You'd have to. Well, I will say Armstrong was pretty quick to home plate in that first pitch.
That ball is smoked. If it's fair, it's gone. It's fair, and it's way out of the ballpark. That's going hunting for some alligators. A 2-run home run for Matt Joyce. First one of the spring for the Phillies at home.
That went over everything.
Everything. Out toward 19.
Even in spring training, the 2-out walkable budgets, Tom. That was a massive shot.
Wheelhouse.
Down and in, shocker, lefty, homer.
Little different than Hazley's home run yesterday. Hazley's was out over the plate and he drove it the other way. This one was in a left-hander's happy zone and he crushed it. Baton takes low.
Great play in the field. Great at bat.
Baton flied out to right. His first time up. Ben, I don't know if you know this or not, but somebody just said, how many times does a guy make a great play in the field and he comes back and hits a home run? Baton lines it, caught by Nevin. Side is retired. Phillies, though, get a 2-run home run from the defensive whiz, Matt Joyce. It's it right on out of the ballpark. He can pick it, and he can pick a pitch. Crushed it. 4-2 Phils. We go to the 4th. Phillies baseball is brought to you by your Philadelphia area local Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDealer.com. Phillies lost yesterday to the Tigers. They were on the road in Lakeland. And now today here at home in Clearwater. And up 4-2. Michael Enoa will be the new pitcher for the Phillies. He's 6'7", Ben. He's taller than you are. Originally signed as a free agent by the Oakland Athletics as a teenager back in 2008. Signed for almost $5 million by the A's. And a first pitch taken low. It's 1 ball, no strikes. He's got a big arm. Fastball 94. His teammate Matt Joyce has given him a 4-2 lead. Slider, curveball, changeup. Had a 2.13 ERA this past winter in 12 2/3 innings. Struck out 18 during that time. Facing Rio Ruiz. We didn't really get a chance to talk about Kinsler, but he looked pretty good in that one inning.
He did.
I mean, his defense helped him out. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Letting that ball go at about 52 feet.
Yeah, 6'7". I mean, it's a big frame. Outside, 3-2. We mentioned the Phillies have a handful of players that they've brought to spring training with minor league deals, non-roster invitees. They have opt-outs. Most of them are the 24th of March, so before the start of the regular season, to give them time if they don't make the team to latch on with somebody else. That's a little cheese right there to Rio Ruiz. And 1 out here in the 4th.
Just rear back, and here it is, Ruiz. If you can hit it, have at it. But not only he's got a lot on it, but really good spot. Not going to do a whole lot with it if you do make contact.
Here's Chad Sisco, and it's 1-0. Here's some of the additions that we've been talking about. We saw Kinsler today. We'll see Archie Bradley and Watson at some point. Bradley threw a bullpen today on one of the backfields. Amazing the schedule that Rob Thompson puts together on a daily basis, because you've got the main camp and then you've got the satellite camp. Chris Truby's kind of overseeing some of that, but Tom's is the one who lays out the entire game plan, and it is impressive. And he's also making sure everybody knows where they are continually. Out to center field toward the end of the bat, so it drops in for a base hit for Chance Sisco.
Joe said they're using 5 different fields.
Yeah. And that'll bring Valleca to the plate. Yeah, just for instance, you know, it's tough to bog everybody down with it, but you've got one group reporting at 8:15, let's say just today.
Right.
8:15. There was a group of about 8 or 9 that reported at 8:15. Finished at 11:20. Another group that reported at 8:15 finished at 11. They have different BP groups just to make sure everybody is separate on separate fields, but also are socially distanced as well. I mean, you've got to take all of that into account. It's all part of the protocol that is part of spring training. But Joe said the last couple of days it's run seamlessly. Boy, he just overpowered Valleca, didn't he? 0-2.
There's not a whole lot of effort there from Ynoa. I mean, it's just like he's in a rocking chair. The ball just explodes.
To right field, Joyce. He settles under it. Makes the catch. 2 outs. Keep track of your Phils all season long with the Phillies Talk podcast. Listen online, on your phone, wherever you find your podcasts. Brought to you by Team Toyota. Urias, who grounded into the double play his first time up for the second time. He made his major league debut the 20th of August last year. Orioles got him off waivers from the St. Louis Cardinals. He spent 5 years playing in the Mexican leagues before he was signed by the Cardinals. Not a bad spot. One of the knocks on Ynoa during his career just has been command. That's been one of the big issues for him. Never made a pass single A with the A's before he was traded to the White Sox, and that's where he made it to the big leagues. And in the 2016-2017 seasons, he averaged nearly 6 walks per 9 innings. Wow. 9 strikeouts per 9, but 6 walks per 9. So off the hands, not deep again. Roman Quinn is there. Well, he looks sharp today. He allowed a single, a couple of fly balls. Middle of the 4th. Phillies 4, Orioles 2. The Phillies on top 4-2. The Orioles have Zach Lowther as their new pitcher. As we begin the bottom of the 4th inning, the Phillies up by 2. And Joe Girardi, the Phillies manager, joins us in the dugout. Joe, we appreciate you coming on. A couple of things that were pretty cool to see today, including Matt Joyce's defense, then offense.
Yeah, I mean, that's always great to see. And he made a great diving catch for a double play, got us out of an inning, and then put us up in the bottom of the 3rd with the 2-run homer. And it was a legit 2-run homer. I know the wind's blowing out a little bit, but it was really legit.
Off the bat, I mean, the fact that he had sort of a bat flip after he did it, you knew how sweet it was.
Yeah. I mean, I guess when you have a bat flip, that means you've hit a few in your career and you know when they're gone.
That's right.
That wasn't that fortunate, but you know, you had a great play by Torres.
Yep.
The pop-up in the infield, I mean, that's a tough play. So, you know, these sunny, windy days are hard on pop-ups. And Torres made a fantastic play.
All right, here's the thing. Ben's going to ask you about that because he just said after he made that, he said as a catcher, he used to love when John Olerud would just come in and make those catches instead of him having to make those catches. Did you feel that way?
Oh, I wanted no part of them. Like, I didn't mind catching pop-ups at night, but my eyes are really sensitive. So the sun gave me a hard time. And I was telling the story to the young kids who I told them, you know, they're going to be coming up every day and playing, and they might be put in some tough situations. That my first game, it was in Tucson, and I replaced Jody Davis, and I missed a pop-up by 20 feet. I mean, 20 feet. So, hey, it happens to all of us. You're going to be nervous. Don't worry about it. Just go get him again, and hopefully he misses this one.
Out to short right field. And Stewart's able to corral it.
Joe, some good situational hitting today, and also hitting with 2 strikes. There's some really good approaches out here tonight.
I think great approaches, and even Matt Joyce's double play ball that he hit in the first inning, you know, he didn't try to pull it, he didn't try to do too much, he just happened to hit a bullet to the third baseman. But you know, we've had some key walks, you know, before the 2-run homer. Roman Quinn had that key walk with 2 outs and worked a 3-2 count. And look at Rodolfo, he's 2 for 2. I need to play this kid every day. But he's one of our young catchers that's in camp, and He missed some time, I believe, with a knee injury, but he's back, and he's impressive too. He's got nice soft hands, he's got a great arm, and obviously he can do some damage. But you know, it's great to see the young kids play with the older guys, and the older guys getting ready, and it's been a really good camp so far.
I would say that with the Zoom conversations we've had with the players, and I know you've echoed this too, clubhouse chemistry seems to be even stronger this year in the early part of spring training.
I would have to agree with you. You know, we brought in some guys that are really great clubhouse guys, and have been here. Some of them have been here before, like Brad Miller, who's just, you know, he's fantastic, and guys that are used to winning and they know what it takes to win. And it's been a real good clubhouse and a real good camp, and just everyone they brought in has been a great fit. So I'm really encouraged by what I've seen so far.
Talk about Andrew McCutchen and how he's been feeling. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast, and just night and day from last year at this time in spring training for him, huh?
Yeah, I was so thrilled to see him go first to third without that little limp to stop. You know, when he stopped at third, and had it been regular season, I think he probably could have scored. So that was really good, because as much as you try to see everybody in camp, it's hard because we're spaced out on 5 fields, and I haven't seen him run a lot. To me, that's a really good sign. And his legs feel good, and he looks really healthy. He looks like he's over whatever he had to overcome last year mentally. So I think it's going to be a big year for Andrew McCutchen.
Joe, we talked to Aaron, and I know he had a little bit of a rocky first inning, according to him, but then that double play ball, that seemed to be the Aaron Nola that you anticipate. He threw the right pitch at the right time, and the competitor in him, you can see his reaction, how big that was even for him.
Yeah, would you say that was Aaron Nola-esque, I guess?
Yeah.
I really believe so too. And he is the constant professional all the time. He's always working. He's always doing what he's supposed to be. He expects a lot from himself every time he goes out. So yeah, I love it, and I love the competitiveness, because competing is such a huge part, and you can't just compete when you want to. I think you need to compete all the time and compete against yourself every day to get better. You know, how do I get better today? And I think Aaron is always doing that. How about Gene's first double? I mean, just Gene's ready to hit. He's ready to go.
He sat all over that hanging breaking ball and just shot it down the left field line. Joe, do you think and I asked Aaron this as well, but a few more off-speed pitches.
Oh,
that ball smoked as well.
They get one.
Say that again, the question?
I think I told Aaron, I said he threw a few more off-speed pitches than I thought he was going to today. Usually the first couple outings is fastball command, but he said, no, I really wanted to work on my changeup today. Were you expecting him to throw that many off-speed pitches? Oh, no worries.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's how he pitches. I think you work how you pitch, you know, in the course of a game, and you're going to use pitches when you have to. And I also think that's where the competitiveness comes out. You know, you give up, you know, a 2-run homer in the first inning, and you're down 2-0. He's like, okay, that's enough, right? Here I go. You know, I'm going to start doing the things that I need to do to be successful. And I think it's important that I think sometimes you can say, I'm going to go work on one pitch, but he works on stuff all the time. I think he just has to be who he is.
Joe, I know Tom's is sitting next to you. I talked to Andrew Knapp today. He said Tom's schedule is unbelievable this spring with all the moving parts that are going on.
What do we got here? We got a 3-run homer?
Ooh, it's carrying. Nope, he caught it. All right.
It really is. We'll answer that question when we come back, and then how about that?
All right, cool. Little foreshadowing.
All right.
Joe Girardi, our guest. We go to the 5th inning. We'll be back. Phillies are up 4-2. Connect, engage, and keep up with the Phils when you follow @Phillies on all social media platforms: Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. @Phillies has a little something for everyone. Get up close and personal with the team and players with fun, original content, and you won't find anywhere else. Follow @Phillies today. We're going to talk about Rob Thompson in just a moment, but speaking of news, the state of Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, has announced today that there will be 8,000 fans allowed in the ballpark once opening day starts, which is awesome. And Joe, you guys were in Lakeland yesterday. Today there's around 2,000 there. I mean, it feels as normal as we've had normal in the last year.
Yeah, I'm thankful to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania because, I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, it just looks right with people in the stands. Now, I know we're used to seeing a packed house down here and in Philadelphia, but this is better than no fans. And just the crowd noise that you hear. You know, I was talking to someone yesterday. One of the noises that I miss are the vendors, right? Screaming hot dogs and ice cream. I really miss that because in spring training, a lot of times you can hear them really clearly. But I truly miss that. So hopefully one day we get that back soon, too.
Yeah, so we mentioned following the Phillies on social media. Phillies will have a release a little later on just about the news and a little more specifics about it. But it's great news that we are taking that step closer and closer. Ramon Rosso is the new pitcher for the Phillies. And the big guy is able to get the ground ball back to the mound. 1 unassisted, I should say.
That's a bad out. That's a bad out, right? It's like that. It's like that little ground ball you hit in front of home plate, and you're like, really? I mean, it's just a. I would rather strike out, I think.
Well, if you could have seen how much movement was on that pitch, you realize why it happened.
Well, I would have swung and missed, so that wouldn't have been a problem.
There was a lot of movement.
Yeah, he's got a lot of cut on his fastball.
Yes.
Right. It's a pretty good breaking ball too. But let's talk about Tomper's schedule.
Yeah.
Right?
So really
understand
impressive.
that we use 2 different clubhouses. We don't want everyone coming in at the same time to get dressed. We don't want everyone finishing their day at the same time because the guys have to use the weight room. We don't want everyone in the training room at the same time. So, but then we have to do team fundamentals, and we do things as a team, but they're spread out on 5 fields. So the idea is to keep them in small groups, and when we need to come together, we come together. So it's a puzzle, and he loves to do crossword puzzles, and that's what he considers this, and he loves it. Now, I would not love it, but he loves the idea of being able to put it all together, and he puts so much time and effort, and he has to coordinate with all of the coaches, you know, the pitching coach, the infield coach, the outfield coach, if they're going to do early work and all this. And our schedule's 3 pages long because people are coming in at different times, and you have a group that's throwing bullpens. You have a group that's non-throwing. They call it a recovery day. Then you have a group that's on the 3rd day that does the PFPs and they're throwing. The recovery group doesn't throw in their PFPs. I mean, he is the best in the world. I'm not even going to say in our country. He's the best in the world at putting a schedule together and having it run smoothly. And don't be a coach that screws it up, right? Because it's down to a T, and there's a reason it's down to a T.
That breaking ball.
Don't be the guy that finishes early or finishes late on your drill just because it messes everything else up.
Do those coaches have somebody telling them how much time they have left before the drill is over?
Well, we had a situation the other day where we finished early, and I was like to the coach, I said, well, let's sit around and talk to him a little bit so it looks like we're having a lot of discussion. We told some jokes. Yeah, it threw everything off.
That's great.
It won't happen again. That coach had 3 watches with him the next time.
Oh, man.
Oh, back-to-back guys hit by a pitch. That's a little different than the Nevin one. So that'll put 2 runners on base with 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. There it is.
It's right off that little elbow guard
little
there.
Cutter that. Yeah. Did he stick his elbow into it? Because I'll go to replay and tell him that he didn't get out of the way.
He did it on that one, but we would let you know if he did it. That would be a great advantage to have. I thought Kinsler looked pretty good. I know he got those 2 outstanding plays, but first inning, he's part of those that revamp pieces of the bullpen that you have.
Yeah. Well, he's a guy that in today's day and age, you have a lot of guys that blow you away on the radar gun. He's not that guy.
Right.
But he gets outs, and he induces weak contacts. He throws strikes. He has the ability to work the corners with late movement, and that's what he does. So, sometimes you're going to see a reliever go 0 innings, he gives up 1 hit, and he has 3 strikeouts. You're not going to see that probably from Kins, but you're not going to see a lot of hard contact because of his late movement, and he's going to get outs, and that's what he's done his whole career.
DJ Stewart, the hitter. Joe, any update on JT, how he's been doing? I know we showed some video of him catching and tossing the baseball aside.
Yeah. Yeah, he's doing well. I mean, he has another doctor's appointment coming up at the 2-week period, which I think is Thursday or Friday or something, that they'll re-X-ray it and make an evaluation.
Good.
What is our next move? So, I mean, he's staying in the best shape that he could possibly stay in without being in a game. Oh,
back toward the middle, off the mound, and then off the body of Maton. That'll score a run.
Any updates on Reese, Joe?
Yeah, Reese is doing well. His live BPs have went well, and these guys are kind of getting at bats in those games right now. We expect, you know, Reese to play probably sometime this week. We expect Didi to play this week. Harp, we're still making a decision exactly when he's going to be, but these guys are all getting closer.
One man down.
I'll get another double play ball.
Yeah, that's unlucky for Rosso because it hit the mound. And
yes.
It actually took a bad hop, it looked like, as Hoppy will go out and talk to the big right-hander.
He's got some good hands back there, Joe. Does Hoppy.
You know what? This is as a young man that came to spring training 2.0 and really impressed us. Just his ability to handle pitchers, to not be fazed by his surroundings, being a young kid that had just played an A-ball. Swings the bat well, he throws well, he blocks well, he's smart behind home plate. We really like him, you know, and we have a really good stable of young catchers, which is something that you don't see a ton in baseball anymore.
No.
But I think that we have a really good stable of them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we were on the air last year when you got a chance to see Rafael Marchand throw while we were watching too for the first time. And I know you've seen him before. He's pretty impressive.
Oh, he's extremely impressive. And last spring I named him the block master because he just put on a clinic blocking balls. And that's something that's kind of went by the wayside a little bit in our game because framing they put so much importance on framing. And he does everything really well. So for him, it's the smaller things in the game, you know, the late movement behind home plate, you know, the calling the games that he will learn as he continues to grow. But we're really excited about Rafael.
All right, so I know this will be the 15th pitch for Rosso, and that ball's hit out toward left field. And Jankowski's able to flag it down. A run will score to tie it up. There are new rules. Is today 7 innings or 9 innings? Have you guys decided that?
We are going 7, and we will play I believe the bottom of the 7th no matter what.
Okay.
So, you know, you basically have to discuss it with Major League Baseball the day before, you know, so by, you know, sometime between I think around 6 o'clock. So you kind of evaluate how many extra guys you use from a pitching staff, and then you determine it. And the goal is 7 innings every day for the first 2 weeks. Now we're hoping to play some 9s. There might be some 8s in there too. But this first time around, with some of the people being late getting here, some of the people being, you know, a little bit nicked up, you know, I get a little bit worried about the position players a little bit, having to play every day, because you can't just go to single A or double A, say, you know, give me this kid, even though he hasn't been in big league camp at all, to back up at second base. We can't do that. So if you look at our card, we don't have a backup first baseman really today, and that's unusual for someone to play, you know, the whole game to start out. It is 7 innings, and Brad says he's okay, and he'll get tomorrow off, but that's unusual that you do that.
0-1 pitch outside, 1 ball 1 strike. How about relief pitchers, Joe? Let's say Rosso. I mean, he's at 17 pitches. You were faced with it yesterday when Nova started, where you could have ended the inning if you wanted to, and you eventually did. Is that difficult just as a manager to say, we're going to be done for this inning?
I don't want to roll over innings. You know, I might bring a pitcher back, and if we have the relievers that day to bring them in, and a lot of times it's the younger relievers that are getting put in some pretty tough situations. Like yesterday, Hennigan came in with the base loaded 1 out.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's not the ideal position to bring a young kid in. But we just and I told him, I went and talked to him the other day, that's going to happen, and all I'm asking you to do is learn from it. Just learn from it. Go out and have fun and try to relax. And we've all been really nervous in our first few games, our first year in big league camp, but I don't really want to roll innings over unless we have to.
Yeah, I think you were good about that even yesterday when you talked about it in the post game, and the fact that you even said it to him, because he'll see it even in your comments post game, but that you said it to him individually, that's got to put his mind at ease somewhat. He's probably upset that he didn't get through it, but it probably put his mind at ease a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can make too much of you know, one outing, 2 outings with these pitchers in the beginning, because they're still trying to develop arm strength and trying to get their stuff right. And it's like hitters. I mean, you'll see hitters really struggle in the beginning, and you don't make too much of it. So why would you make too much of a pitcher struggle?
Yeah, Joe, your team's flipping a little leather today. That was pretty good play by Maton.
All right,
Joe, thanks so much.
Yes,
we appreciate it.
Get some runs back. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we'll talk to you later this week. That's Joe Girardi. 2 runs for the Orioles. We're tied at 4. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning in a 7-inning ballgame. Director of Fun and Games for a backstage look at the Phils. The backstage with Burgoyne and Brazier. Their podcast welcomes special guests Charlie Manuel, Brad Lidge, Larry Boa, and many more to chat about their experiences, contributions, and history with the Philadelphia Phillies. Visit Phillies.com/podcast for details and tune-in information. Bottom of the 5th inning. And the new pitcher for the Orioles is Evan Phillips. Phillies made some other changes when we were talking to Joe Girardi. Bryson Stott is in the game playing second base. I don't remember if we mentioned that or not, Ben.
I don't think we did.
We mentioned O'Hoppe was behind the plate. Jankowski, you saw make that catch. He came on the pinch run, so he's in left field. Brad Miller is the hitter. And he takes the first pitch for a strike from Evan Phillips, 26-year-old right-hander from the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. Beautiful campus. Last year he pitched in 14 games for the Orioles at an ERA of 5.02. First made his major league debut back in 2018 with the Atlanta Braves. Ball in the dirt. Nick Schufo is the new catcher for Baltimore. Pitch outside.
I still love the stirrups. Such a good look.
Jordan Westberg takes over at third base. Outside 3-2. Ben, if you like the stirrups so much in the sanitaries, which is the look that Brad Miller goes with, while you're doing your baseball teaching, you should be in the cage with sannies and stirrups, and you can pass it along to the next generation. No?
Just wear my shorts. That's a good piece of just getting a bat on that baseball. We have a guest.
Ramon Rosso is joining us after his outing. Ramon, Tom and Ben up here in Philadelphia watching the game in Clearwater. How do you feel after your inning?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel really good. Just some pitches in the sun, but my arm feels good. My body feels good.
Ramon, is that the biggest thing, is making sure that your body and your arm feel good at this point in spring training?
Yeah, I'm not 100%, but I feel ready for a throw, so just keep working hard, and that's it.
You had a really good breaking ball today. What do you attribute that to? And also your fastball has some really late cut to it, which you absolutely love. As a hitter, you don't like to see that, but your ball has some really good life to it.
Yeah, my fastball is natural cut, so it's normal on me, and my curveball was good today. They don't swing it too much, but that was down away.
I got to tell you, that first fastball where you got Cumberland to hit it back to you, that ball that jammed him.
Oh, the ground ball.
That was pretty good.
That was fastball inside and cut. Yeah, a little cut.
That was pretty good.
And that's just natural, that cut. You don't try and do anything?
Yeah, natural cut.
Really?
No, I just throw my fastball and the ball do his thing.
0-2 to Roman Quinn.
Do you have a four-seam grip when you throw that?
Yeah, I got a four-seam.
Okay.
Ramon, I know you went to Driveline before last season began, and that enhanced your miles per hour. How much do you think that helped you last year getting your fastball velocity up?
Yeah, that was in 2019. I go there, and that helped me so much because when I go there, the first week, my fastball was like 92, 93, and the last week, I was there 3 weeks, and my last week was 96, my fastball. So
wow.
I think that helped me so much, yeah.
Did that surprise you, that it helped you that much? I mean, were you optimistic going in that it would help you?
Yeah, I'm really surprised with this. So I didn't know that helped me so much, but when I got there last week, oh my God, oh shit, that's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that did feel pretty good as the pitch is outside. It's 2-2. Did you do that this offseason, or what did you do this offseason if there was anything different?
Yeah, I did. When I finished throwing in the winter league in Minicam, I throw the ball, yeah, and I feel good.
Happy to be back in camp with everybody? It has to be. It's a good feeling, isn't it?
Say it again?
It's so happy to be back in spring training. It's a great feeling, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And it's good to be the people back here.
And see all your buddies, all your friends.
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
Well, Ramon, we appreciate it. Good luck the rest of camp, okay?
Ramon, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Ramon Rosso, our guest. And Matt Joyce will bat for the third time today. Hit into a double play and also homered. At a pitch outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Joyce's 2-run home run gave the Phils a 4-2 lead. Change up.
You talk about some late movement. Evan Phillips has, I think that's a splitter that he's throwing. And he's also got that late breaking cutter as well.
That's not a bad spot. A little low, and it's 3-0.
I think he'd be swinging here.
I would think so. You know, Nevin was swinging 3-0 in the top half of the inning, so I would think at this point, yes. Or no. Ben, you can never be so sure.
I guess not.
3 balls and 1 strike.
Three-1 breaking ball on March 1st. I don't know if I'm ready for that one.
I don't think you could ever say anymore that you can take 3-0 because you're going to get the same pitch 3-1, because in this day and age that is not the case. Another breaking ball. By the way, Ben, we want to send best wishes out to our buddy Mike Keller from Folsom. Christine Powers, who is the escort for the Fanatic around the ballpark. Everybody's probably seen Christine before. Her dad is battling some cancer right now, and we're thinking of him. We know he's going to fight through it, and we love Christine. She's been a fixture at the ballpark for years and years and years. The Fanatic does not go anywhere without Tom Burgoyne and Christine.
That's right.
And we want him to know that we are thinking about him. Patriarch of a huge family in Delco.
Yes, indeedy.
All right, Joyce checks out, and Jalen Ortiz will pinch run for him. Maton sends it to center field, and it's tracked down.
Oh, smoked.
It was. Hayes able to make the catch, and the side is retired. We played 5. We'll go to the 6th. It's a 4-4 game. You from Pod 23 is looking pretty sharp. Time for our Citizen Stats Leaders, brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the Phillies. All right, so we do this from time to time, Ben. We kind of break down what camp looks like. 74 players, 11 non-roster invitees, 8 catchers. Ben, I know you know this. You can never have enough catchers in spring training.
You really can't.
And in this day and age, you probably need even more. Not on that roster is another member of the Phillies family. Chris Wheeler, Mr. Spring Training, is ready to go.
Now pitching for the Phillies, number 84, Jacob Hernandez.
Nice.
Well done, Wheels.
It takes 2 glasses for Wheels to get through a day at the ballpark. Mr. Spring. Waving our shirts off. We're flashing back. Oh, it's so good. I bet you if we showed him right now, he'd be waving us off.
Miss being down there with Wheels.
Yeah. Nick Schufo is the batter for the Orioles. Hernandez's first pitch. He's into the game for the first time. Jacob Hernandez, a left-hander, 24 years old. He is from the state of Colorado, now lives in Texas. Went to college in Texas. But it's no balls and 2 strikes. 6'4", not overpowering. His fastball will be 88 to, let's say, 90, 91 miles per hour. So that's the fastball. He's got some long locks, but he's got a really good curveball.
I think you might see that here. Lefty, lefty.
Did not pitch last year. Was not at the alternate site. All right, so you can see the delivery. Now that one was kind of a hanger, but it's straight over the top, which you don't often see anymore.
No.
But that's a good pitch.
Yeah, not a ton of pitches anymore with a lot of depth. You know, other than a splitter, you don't see the big 12-6 curveball anymore. It's mostly sinkers and sliders. That one not his best, but still able to get the punch out.
Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. That's Luke Williams, who's over at third base for the Phillies. Joe Girardi makes some adjustments. The very talented Luis Garcia. Larry Boa loves Luis Garcia's hands at shortstop.
Some guys just have a knack of just looking smoother than others. It's something else.
Upstairs, 3-0. Jalen Ortiz out in right field. And ball 4 to Valleca. He draws the 1-out walk.
Second baseman, Ramon Reeves.
Got a pinch runner. Jones will come in to pinch run. Jahmai Jones is for Valleca. Urias the batter, the second baseman. Wouldn't mind seeing a good left-handed move over to first base, Ben.
We've talked about that before, but I would work on that until I got it right. If I were lefty, there's free outs out there.
Off the end of the bat foul, it's 0-1.
I mean, if you really had to go, and you could negate that walk right there. You know, it's just something to have in your back pocket if you're a left-hander.
Oh, and 2. All right, so we've seen a couple of the curveballs. They've been up, but you can see that he's working on it getting down more and more and more.
Also looked like he went with kind of a slide step there. Just didn't give his arm a chance to catch up. Oh, he left that breaking ball up.
Well, that's a good pitch. 1-2. Weren't allowed to do that last year, Ben. You couldn't have the sound effects say, "Come on, Blue."
No.
Not bad. Over to the right side. That could be 2. Stott to Garcia in time for the double play. 4-6-3. And the Orioles are retired here in the 6th inning. No runs, no hits. Phillies have 1 error today, but they have played solid defense. Wheels loves it. There it is. Is brought to you by Nissan. Catch the thrill of the Drive Nissan sales event now. Make contact with your local Nissan store today. Ben, the Fandemic crew, the hardiest bunch in the history of hardy bunches, out yesterday for the opener in Lakeland. But they were here at Citizens Bank Park. They're awesome.
That is dedication.
Ladder and all, because they always have a ladder. They evolved as the year went on with the different equipment that they had. And of course, as we all know, it was raining yesterday, which melted most of the snow.
Never stopped.
At least in the Garden State.
It never stopped raining.
Yeah. Down in Clearwater, 80 degrees. It's sunshiny. As Jalen Ortiz will lead it off for the Phillies. That is Max Soroller, who is the new pitcher, or Mac, I should say, not Max. Mac Soroller, the new pitcher for the Orioles. He's a Rule 5 pick. Up and away. Mason McCoy is the new third baseman for the Orioles. The new shortstop is Westberg, who came on a moment ago. Jones, who also pinch ran, is at second base. There he is. Nevin remains at first base. And Soroller is ready to go. The 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-1. Max Soroller, selected originally by the Phillies in the 36th round out of Southeastern Louisiana University, and then stayed in school and then taken in the 5th round by the Reds. Now that's where he was selected in the Rule 5 draft by the Orioles. So has not pitched above single A, but he's a college pitcher who pitched in the Cape, and he's got a big arm, as you can see.
Hey, Ortiz with a 2-0 fastball, swung through it. 3-1 fastball, swung through it. That's knowing what you're getting and still being a little tardy.
So there's a little bit of a pedigree for Sorolla as well. Ben, 3-2 pitch, outside, ball 4.
And what's that?
His uncle is the former hard-throwing right-hander and current Orioles broadcaster, Ben McDonald.
Really?
Who was one of the best college pitchers that I think I saw.
Yeah.
At LSU.
I don't know if there's been more hype about a college pitcher coming out of college than Ben McDonald.
Here is Edgar Cabral. He is pinch hitting for the Phillies. And he will assume the role of designated hitter. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bit outside. Orioles are in position where they can take a chance on a young man who hasn't pitched above single-A as they try to refine some skills to maybe get him, you know, up into camp or up into the big league roster. Tough to hide guys like that in this day and age. That ball is whacked to left field, not deep. And an easy play for the first out. Stream every regular season game live or on demand with MLB.tv online or on your favorite supported devices, as well as select spring training games. Blackouts and other restrictions do apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Here's Jankowski. Made it to the big leagues with the San Diego Padres back in 2015 at 24 years old. Last year played for Cincinnati. Only had 15 at bats. He was 1 for 15. Lancaster product. Picked in the first round out of Stony Brook. That one is hooked toward right field. Yeah, the catch is made. And back to first base is Ortiz.
That ball just got in on him just a hair.
Yeah, not a bad swing.
No.
He's a good player. You know, he's got a chance, you know, to be an extra man, whether it be in AAA or with the big club. He played 117 games with San Diego in 2018, 131 in 2016. And here's Bryson Stott. Bryson, the former first-round pick by the Phillies, playing second base today. He's a shortstop by trade, but I don't think he cares where he is as far as where he'll play. He's currently rooming with Bryce Harper. Bryce told us that the other day. Bryce, his scouting report was really cool to listen to him talk about Stott, and I'll tell you why in a second. Fouls it away, 1-1, because of the names that he equated him to swing-wise, because he's got good power the opposite way. So he said he's a very good mix of, at shortstop, of J.J. Hardy and Brandon Crawford defensively. Okay. He said he makes every play, not super flashy, but he has arm like Crawford, and he's solid up the middle. Offensively, he said he has a very similar swing to Garrett Anderson.
Really?
Yeah. Doubles to left, homers to right. He's down to the count, 1-2.
Garrett Anderson, that's
pretty interesting, isn't it?
Sure is.
Bryson said that playing last year at the alternate site was a huge growth experience for him offensively and defensively. He said he learned a few things. He said the biggest thing, and I think this is huge, is that he learned that he doesn't have to rely on right field to get extra base hits, that the gap in left center field or left field as a whole is there for him because he's got himself muscled, is strong enough to be able to get that way. Now they're playing him to go the other way. They understand that.
The sooner you can realize that as a hitter, the earlier in your career, the better off you're going to be. I know I learned it way too late. To the point where, and this is going to sound crazy, and I was telling this to somebody the other day. I hit an opposite field home run in San Diego against John Smoltz one night, right? So I'm hitting left-handed. I hit one out, and it was pretty deep to left center. And I got back to the bench. I'm like, how did I do that? What was wrong? I actually thought that to myself, like, wait, that's not supposed to happen. I can only go deep to right field when I'm batting left-handed. Doesn't that sound crazy? Because I didn't realize that was in me until it was late.
That ball rolls away from the second baseman Jones, so Stott is aboard.
Good AP. But it was almost like I thought of it as a mistake that happened, which is ridiculous. That's why I say the sooner you can come to that realization as a young hitter, the better off you're going to be. The more success, way more success you're going to have.
Well, I mean, if anybody's followed, I mean, I know Garrett Anderson hasn't played in the big leagues.
I had nightmares about Garrett Anderson.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, my gosh. They were in our division in Seattle. I mean, we had to play those guys all the time.
All right, so this is where I feel like Bryce is a true student of the game. Garrett Anderson hasn't played since 2010.
Right.
So, but lifetime 293 hitter with 287 home runs and 522 doubles.
Yeah. And a free and easy swing.
And I'm not saying that Stott will be that, but that's what Bryce likens him
right. to. Garrett used like a 34 or 35 ounce bat as well. And just dropped the head on it. But we would try to game plan. Obviously, he was with the Angels and we're the Mariners. And we even played interleague against them when I was with San Diego. And it's like you try and game plan. You they had Tim Salmon on their team and Eckstein and Garrett Anderson, Troy Gloss. Garrett Anderson was that one guy that just befuddled me. What do you want to do? I remember Renee Latchman going over the scouting reports. What do you want to do with him, big man? I said, Latch, I don't know. Just not give in. Because you try to pound him in, he'd turn. He'd throw him soft away. He'd hit that double to left center field gap. And he started to get in my head. And it was very frustrating. That's how good a hitter he was.
Oh. Well, talking to Larry Boa about Bryson Stott, and this is more about shortstop than it is second base, which is where he's playing today. As Logan O'Hoppe has the count even, 1 ball and 1 strike. Breaking ball 2-1. Bo said that he looks good. He's got good hands. Plays very tall for a shortstop, which Boa likes. There's Bo with Charlie Manuel. And he also said, and what I've noticed in BP is that he drives the ball well to left center field. Two balls and 1 strike to O'Hoppe. 2-2. Three and 2.
The runners will be off here. Just remember, what I don't miss about being down there in spring training? There's the foul balls that come over the net. And I flinch every time and then you laugh at me. I don't miss that. If I see a ball coming at me, I'm going to flinch.
I would love it for right now for that shot to be up and you still flinch.
It's a possibility.
That's our view normally from Clearwater. And ball 4. That'll put the bases loaded. 2 walks and a single in this inning. And with 2 outs and the bases loaded, Brad Miller will be the hitter. I think Joe Girardi's played everybody that he said he would play today. They have a couple extra players that they have just in case. But as Joe mentioned before, with Reese on the shelf, there's no backup first baseman for today. Miller has walked and he's grounded out and struck out his last time up. Sorolla is one of 2 Rule 5 selections that the Orioles have in camp. The other one is Tyler Wells, who we have not seen yet. He is scheduled to pitch. He's another right-hander, so we may see him in the 7th inning, because everybody else that was slated to pitch today for the Orioles has pitched. 1-2 to Miller. And a breaking ball and a call. Strike 3. That'll do it for the Phillies here in the 6th inning. They do leave them loaded. No runs ahead. 3 men left. We're on to the 7th. This is Trey Mancini yesterday after getting a standing ovation. Got a base hit in his first game back. He missed all of last year because he was battling colon cancer. It was an awesome sight to see in Sarasota. The fans giving him a standing ovation, and the Orioles hope that he will be back healthy and will be part of their everyday roster. Tremendous story. And I thought what really stood out, Ben, was not only the reaction from his teammates, but also the team, the guys on the other team, but at social media throughout the day, there were different messages sent from different athletes who understood what he had gone through. I don't know. I thought it was one of the great things to see yesterday on opening day of spring training.
Yeah, it's so far above the game. You know, being able to come back like he has. Just wish him all the best.
David Paulino is the new pitcher for the Phillies. Folks enjoying the sunshine down in Clearwater and a cold beverage. Our game summary through 6 today. We're tied up at 4. Orioles took a 2-0 lead in the top of the first. Then the Phillies responded with 2 in the bottom half. Phillies took the lead with the 2-run home run by Matt Joyce. He smoked it out to right field, and then the Orioles tied it up with 2 unearned runs against Ramon Rosso in the 5th inning. So here we are, top of the 7th inning, maybe our last frame. And Paulino deals to Brett Cumberland and deals a strike. It's 0-1. Last pitch to the big leagues back in 2018. He had a 1.35 ERA. Popped up. That'll carry out towards center field. And 1 away. Nominate the great educator in your life for the Phillies All-Star Teacher Contest. That is going to be hard to pick this year. It's always hard, but it is going to be really hard to pick. 10 area teachers will be selected and recognized during the 2021 season. Submit your nomination for your All-Star Teacher by 5 p.m. on March 19th. Enter now at Phillies.com. You can put them all out there.
Without a doubt. Talk about having to adjust on the fly. Oof. I mean,
I live with one, and I see and hear how she adjusts. It's impressive. I see how her friends adjust. So many parents getting involved as well, including Dr. Ben Davis. 1-2.
I lost the math part in around 2nd, 3rd grade.
You helped with the Spanish part, though.
I can help with the Spanish part.
Yeah.
It was really great to see about Mancini. I mean, that's just, you know, it's, again, that's above the game, and that's, everything takes a back seat to what has gone through and will continue to battle. But it's nice to see him back, and think about what he's going to add to their team, you know, from a physical aspect. I mean, a couple years ago, he hit 291 with 35 home runs. I mean, that's going to help them out tremendously.
Well, clubhouse, too.
Yeah.
Nevins retired on the fly ball to left. And Steve Wilkerson came in the game a couple innings ago. Will face David Paulino. Had a left ring finger fracture last year that cost him the entire season. He suffered it, I mean the 60-game season, suffered it at the end of summer camp. This is a guy who played 117 games in 2019 for the Orioles and had 10 home runs and 35 runs batted in. Former 8th round selection by the Orioles out of Clemson. I think he's tired of the color orange.
How about the white spikes?
Clemson strong.
Yep.
Two and two.
Paulino kind of missed a spot there, but Wilkerson so far on top of the plate tries to get that fastball inside on him. He'll come back with that good changeup. Going back in there again.
That one's out of play. Stream all of your games this season with the My Teams app. On and off the diamond. No one covers your Phils better than NBC Sports Philadelphia. Another one hit foul. Players getting back into the swing of things, tossing some baseballs into the crowd.
Right. Kutch won't have to toss it to the cardboard cutout anymore.
I was just thinking the same thing. And the 2-2 pitch. Good changeup. Swung on and missed. A 1-2-3 7th inning for Paulino. The Orioles go down in order. Heading to the bottom of the 7th inning. Probably the last chance for the Phillies offense to break this tie. Player of the game. I know the game's not over yet, but how about the game Matt Joyce has had?
A tremendous catch here in right field. Ended up getting double play, and then this 1-0 pitch just doesn't land. I think that ended up on 19. Interstate 19 there. It's a heck of a day by the Phillies right fielder. He is your Chevrolet player of the game.
Well, let's hope he has a cohort as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Tyler Wells is the new pitcher for the Orioles. Wells, another Rule 5 selection out of Minnesota Twins organization. Orioles have a new first baseman, and that's Taylor Davis. And Luke Williams will lead things off for the Phillies. Again, we're scheduled to, according to Joe Girardi, play the bottom of the 7th, and that's it. Williams got a chance to play in the Australian Winter League, which I think a lot of guys embrace the chance to play winter baseball because they didn't have a season last year. Hit .292. He had 21 hits. The 0-1 pitch coming to him. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You ever been down there in Australia?
Australia, I have not.
No.
Kevin Jordan says it's awesome.
Yeah.
Two balls, 1 strike. Williams, 24 years old. The Phillies selected him in the 3rd round in 2015.
A very simple approach up there, doesn't he?
Yeah, not a lot of movement whatsoever.
Which I'm a huge fan of. Some guys have the ability to do it, have a ton of movement, but they're somehow, some way able to get barrel to ball. It's like guys with really funky deliveries. It's harder to repeat your mechanics and that release point. Leadoff base runner here would be good, though. We don't want a tie on our first broadcast, do we? No way. There's a start.
So Williams draws a walk. And Johan Rojas will be the hitter. He went in to play center field. That one's over to 3rd. Could be 2. Rojas does run well, and he's already passed the bag. 5-4 on the force out at second base, so a fielder's choice.
That was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. That was a heck of a turn by Jones at second base. Heck of a turn.
Reminder, our next broadcast will be Thursday. Yankees will be in Clearwater. NBC Sports Philadelphia Plus. Looking forward to that. And now here's Luis Garcia. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Garcia is one of the exciting young prospects in the Phillies farm system. I think he looks totally different body-wise than he did last year. Because we saw him last year. He has put on muscle. He has been able to increase the exit velocity off the bat. It hasn't slowed him down defensively. I think that's always a concern, is if you thicken up a little bit, how is that going to change you as a shortstop? Because he's got the chance to be a dominant fielder.
You just don't want to lose that mobility, and obviously it's so pivotal, especially up the middle.
Rojas takes his lead off first. Pitch high, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Rojas, according to Fangraphs, who lists the top 41 prospects for the Phillies, Rojas, who's over at first base, is listed at number 4. Spencer Howard is number 1. McAble is number 2. 2-2. Garcia is number 9. Again, that's according to Fangraphs. Two balls, 2 strikes. Big lead for Rojas. He froze a little bit as that throw went over. I like it. And a breaking ball and a called strike 3. Well, that one was up a little bit in the zone, but I think it surprised Garcia. And there are 2 outs.
Seen a few hangers today taken for called 3rd strikes. It's definitely one you want to pull the trigger on. They go a long way.
All right, so Jalen Ortiz, 19 home runs in Clearwater in 2019. He had 13 the previous year in Lakewood. Ball's popped up outside of first. And Davis is able to make the catch. All right, so let's see. Is there a signal from Joe Girardi?
Oh, there it is.
Little wave goodbye to Brandon Hyde. And that will do it for spring training game number 2. We end in a 4-4 tie. A lot of positives today's game, including Matt Joyce's 2-run home run. Aaron Nola got through 2. 4-4, the final score, a tie. We'll be back to wrap it up.
Why do more drivers turn?